be totally honest, how I came into blogging was I had a bad date. Back in my single days, I came home and decided to. I'd been thinking about blogging for a while actually, and I decided to tell the story of my bad date. And within days, I sort of had readers, and from there. That's the wonderful thing about blogging, it's an opportunity really to connect directly with people online and really kind of give some sort of power to your voice. You can take a subject, really any subject whatsoever. Every subject has a potential for some level of audience, obviously some bigger than others. But 5.5 years on, about a year after I started blogging, I have a bit of a split personality in blogging. One half of me is like a cool hunter. I look for cool stuff. Kids at the age of 4, and then rather discerning parents. I do a bit of interiors on Netflix as well, and obviously start working on with Amazon. And on the other side of my life, I have owned a relationship site for over 4 years, and has over 100,000 money. And so, what that's really all about is that with blogging, you really the opportunity to present yourself, to demonstrate your expertise and your authority about these particular subjects. Blogging is one of those things that can really build you and allow you to, attach yourself to a subject and demonstrate how much you know about it, or you can expose how much you know about it. And so that would be the first tip that I say to you. There's a couple of reasons why you might want to start a blog. One, because you're thinking, I'm really passionate about, for instance, eco-friendly lifestyle, or about, handbags, and there's sites about handbags as well. Anything basically. You might want to talk about politics, or women business, or whatever it is. And you might also then decide, actually, no, I want to write a blog because I want to complement the business that I already have. That's kind of the two things I tend to find people are doing. They're either writing a blog as a complement to the existing business, or they're saying, hey, I'm really interested in dogs or flowers or whatever, gardening, and I want to write about that. And so the first thing I would say is don't write about something you're not interested in. Don't write about something you're not knowledgeable about, because you get bored incredibly quickly. I'm so passionate about it. Blogging really requires a high level of interest and passion, because you will start to gain momentum, and you will feel once you have readers there, you've got to publish, however it's not, it might be daily, it might be bi-weekly, or however often. But you will go through periods where you might kind of lose your mojo, or you might think, oh, what am I doing here? And the easiest way to kind of minimize those times is by sticking with something that you're really interested in. The reason for that is when I started blogging 5.5 years ago, there was a lot of blogs. There is nothing like what there is now. And so if you're not genuinely passionate and interested about what you're writing about, there's a gazillion other ones out there that are writing about what you're writing about. And so there are subjects that people will go, oh, there's still a lot of money in that. I'll write about that. If you're not really that interested in it, you're probably not going to make any money out of it, and somebody else is probably making the real money out of it. Is there money in blogging? Well, I'm a full-time blogger. When I started blogging 5.5 years ago, I worked for the largest technology publisher in the UK, which was Computer Active magazine. And blogging was just something I did for a bit of fun in the background. And then, obviously, I started up my relationship site about a year later, and that was still all in the background whilst I was working. And it was actually only when I had my first child, well, it's about 2.5 years ago now, it's funny that motherhood presented freedom for me, because I had been thinking about leaving my job probably for the entire time I've been there. Then, maternity leave arrived, and what had happened is Bambinogoodies, about 2.5 weeks before my daughter was born, I decided I'd been about 2.5 weeks before my first daughter was born, I woke up one Sunday morning and I decided I'm going to start a shopping guide, because I've been shopping around cool stuff for my daughter. I've been very, very scared by all the plastic in between and the glam. And I thought, there must be better things out there. And I started searching online and basically started documenting my finds. I actually put in my personal blog, in the sidebar, my list of experiments. And it turned out I wasn't obviously the only person that was interested in finding unusual stuff for kids. Because over the months, even though I had C-section and all the rest, and didn't actually write for a while, we just started to build up. And when I kind of found myself at this kind of juncture where I'd gone back to work and realised how bloody awful they were, I thought to myself, you've kind of got to go for it now. You've got all these readers, the relationship side. You've clearly got something that they're interested in here with the data side. You should go for it. And that's exactly what I did do. And so I think with blogging, you've really got to obviously find your subject that you're passionate and you're interested in. But it's also that obviously there is money to be made out of it in terms of that you can make money from advertising, direct advertising, which is people on banners, on the site. That's the ideal way to cut out any middlemen, like agencies and some people who go, oh, we'll take a 50% cut, we can use some advertising type thing. Which, if you can't sell advertising, then hey, take it, but if you can, don't. If you can make some money from Google AdWords, the key is if you are really, really knowledgeable about what you have to write about, there is a wealth of opportunity in information products. Even though I make money from advertising on Bambinogoodies, the actual predominant revenue stream on baggage reclaim, I wrote an ebook about a year. On baggage reclaim, I studied my relationship site. I wrote an ebook about 18 months ago, and sales come through on that ebook most days. And so it's like a passive income stream. And so in blogging, people get very obsessed with PR agencies and about advertising. But if you're very clever, you will have a few revenue streams, and you'll say, right, well, I'll host advertising on here, but you know what, I will, as I build up my audience and I have authority, and I've demonstrated that, there must be other ways that you can actually sell to your audience in a in your face structured way. But there's ebooks, and there's some people who have membership forums and stuff like that. Some people are having web seminars. I've done paid web seminars, for instance. I've dealt privately with readers and charged, sort of by the hour or whatever it is. What that's basically saying is, if you're creative, you can basically sell your blog. Most people worry about traffic, audience and that type of thing. Obviously, that you don't want to spend all your energy writing a blog and have that one reader, because you'll feel rather stressed out about it. But I would say you have to give it time. And the reason why I said it is because, right now, it does feel like everybody's talking about it really tonight, like it's on Twitter or, in British hobby bloggers or something like that. But people are talking about, I want to start selling advertising, or I want readers, and you've kind of got to build up your audience a bit first and not try to run before you can walk. Hone your subject, having a niche. If you try to be really broad and try to write about everything, you're going to find you're going to come across it. Because blogs are actually quite niche. They can have huge audiences, but the subject is very niche. And that actually will help us really fine-tune your audience and demonstrate, who your audience is. I know, for instance, that Bambinogoodies has about 44,000 readers a month. And I know, because I write about design-led products, star-focused, that the people who are obviously interested in reading about that are people who are design and star-focused themselves. I'm not trying to market myself through my content to people who are really interested in kind of their life, for example. I'm not doing along with that, but I know who my audience is, but your content that takes to your audience is, that's who you will bring in. For instance, that what you write brings in people who are really interested in reading. And so in terms of audience, obviously, you'll worry about things like search engine optimization. Blogs are lovely and sticky. The search engines love blogs. If you get to understand how to blog, so for instance, is this platform, if you're serious about blogging, don't go to Blogger. Blogger is for hobbying, if you just want to have a personal diary and say, hey mom, yesterday I did such go to Blogger. But if you're thinking, there's a distinct possibility that I might actually get potentially serious about this, or I might use it to complement my existing business to bring in more business, don't go. Use WordPress.